What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nerd Jock podcast. I am co-founder and co-host Jesse Grund, and this to my virtual right or left, depending on how you're looking at the screen, is...
This is Chris Marone, the other half of the Nerd Jack. What do we call ourselves?
Nerd Jocks? Nerd Jockians?
Nerd Jockians. That was it. That was the term.
That was Nerd Jockians. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry. I was finishing some of this popcorn here and taking a little sip of the Crown Royale, the vanilla flavored Crown Royale. So
I'm sipping on a Bro Mosa this evening.
It's By the way, I know we're talking that, right?
It really is. It's called Bro Mosa.
Pull it back. It's too bright.
It's got a little bro. It's got a little bro on it, bro.
Right yeah, it says
bro on it.
You'll have to check out the VOD to see it live, but it's there. Trust us. We've cited our sources.
It's a Bro Mosa. And I know this is the PlayStation 5 edition, but by the way, do you remember that UFC fighter we talked about last time who fought like twice or like 2 shows ago, where he fought like twice in a matter of like a week? He fought again and then knocked a guy out again in like 12 seconds.
He's a beast.
I don't want to get in the ring with that guy.
He was born and bred to do this.
Jeez, man. He's a Chechen-born Swede. And he was like very nice afterwards, but like you look at him and you're like, no, bro.
This guy lives and breathes destroying other people's faces with his fists. I love it.
Yeah. He literally, the other guy was like circling and like kind of looked timid. And then all of a sudden, like this guy just unleashed one right hand and it was over. And you're just watching it going.
Maybe the guy who was timid was timid because he was like, this guy's had how many fights and he's fighting me right now? Am I gonna lose?
Yeah. It was like the woman in that boxing video that we watched.
Wow, Mom.
But yeah, wow, Mom. But today's episode is specifically about the PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
What we know about this amazing gaming machine. We're not biased or anything, Sony for life. Okay. What we know about it.
I can side with that as a former Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, I was too. Yeah, I was with you.
Yeah.
I switched over. I even had an Xbox One. I switched over to PlayStation 4. I was happy because I got Last of Us 1 and then Last of Us 2. That's a total.
God of War.
We are going to do that show eventually. That show is going to happen. We'll bring Kenny back for that show.
That's right.
How PlayStation and the retailers handled the retail pre-orders, that was really interesting.
It was.
Some of the announcements that were made with the information on the different editions of the system that we're going to get and games that are coming in 2021, one in particular, and what you're going to get with PlayStation Plus, how many games you get if you're a PlayStation Plus member on launch day, which is just, it's absurd, super absurd. So, Chris, are you excited about the PlayStation 5?
100%. I think the PlayStation 5 is probably, I think the way that I've come to understand the next gen console war, so to speak. I don't like to use that term anymore, but if you want to use like a comparison, if I were to look at virtual reality headsets, the best virtual reality headset is the Valve Index. That's just based on specs. It's based on the quality. That's like, there's a lot of variables that go into that. And you know that. You're like, if you can get the top of the line virtual reality headset, you get the Valve Index. And I would say that for the next gen consoles, that the PlayStation 5 is the top of the line console to have for this next gen. And I think Microsoft's well aware of that. And I don't think Nintendo's trying to compete necessarily with that anymore. They have their market with the Switch. They've done a very good job with the Switch. Yeah, they're killing it. They're crushing it.
Yeah.
But PlayStation 5, I'm so stoked about it. What's under the hood, what the games are going to be able to do, and how the games are already looking. I noticed something. Don't all the games look like animated films? They look so good. They look like interactive, animated movies.
Well, I really feel like the last gen of PlayStation 4 games that we were going through, especially on the Pro console, we were really getting close to that feeling. I remember swinging around in Spider-Man and really feeling like I was in a cutscene when you're swinging around in Spider-Man. There's no frame rate drop. there was just so much that was going on the screen, and you were like, wow. But then you also heard your PlayStation fan like getting really loud as that was going on, because there was a lot of work being done by that PlayStation for those moments.
Oh yeah. We're like, is that a jet taking off? No.
Yeah,
it's just my game handling Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited to see. Obviously, we could get into the specs, but I think they should tune into Daily Gaming News.
Oh, hey, thank you.
To slide that in there, I think they should tune into that to get more into the specs.
For those who don't know, Daily Gaming News is a Twitch channel that I am a co-host on, that we do news in the gaming industry daily.
Is that how that works? I was just going to throw in a hyperlink and let him go. But anyway, long story short, and that wasn't even a long story, so I'm just going to go story short story. I'm more interested in, you as somebody who is a professional in the industry. If you're watching the video at home, you're seeing his Peter Tingle shirt right now, which is amazing. By the way,
just the lighting. Amazing, like I look like a vampire every time I look at myself. Then I play better. Hey, color.
So one, how do you feel like PlayStation handled the information, the launch information? Are you excited about the two versions of the console that they're coming out with? And what is the game that's launching that you're most excited about?
Great questions. Wow.
It's like I'm interviewing you now. You're our guest on the Nerd Jock podcast.
So I think the showcase was phenomenal. That last showcase that they just did, where they made the announcement of the release date, they made the announcement of when pre-orders were supposed to begin. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. They showed gameplay. They showed games. They showed Miles Morales. And oh my God, I could not tell the cutscenes from the gameplay. And that's how impressed I was by, I was like, is this a scene? Or is the person playing this? Oh my God, that's exactly what I've always wanted.
Right.
I think everything that they showed is extremely exciting for all types of genres of gaming. What's the other thing I took away from the showcase? They went through all different types of games that players in their specific genre, like the survival horror fans can eat up this game, and then you have the action platformer fans can eat up this game.
So excited about Resident Evil.
The Village.
The Village. Is it 8? I think it's 8. It's 8.
Yeah,
it just looks.
Yeah,
it just looks fun.
It really does.
It just looks fun, and like I'm gonna scream sitting in my office while things jump out at me. Fun.
Well, so one of the things that I want to talk about real quick, because of why I'm so hyped about the PlayStation 5, is the Tempest audio.
Hyped?
Yeah. Oh my God. The Tempest audio for the PlayStation 5 is supposed to be this new type of way to experience audio in games. And as someone who's deaf in their right ear, playing games is very difficult. I have a custom headset that feeds all my sound into one side of the headset so that I can do my best to be able to hear everything and differentiate where the right side of a sound may be in the left side. It takes some time, and I'm getting used to it and have gotten used to it. But what they're saying with this 3D sound is you will be experiencing sound like you would in the real world. So even if I do have sound only coming into the left side of a normal headset, I should still be able to dictate where the sound is coming from based on this new type of Tempest Audio 3D technology that they're using. And that's something like you can talk about it, but you don't know what that's like until you yourself, the user player, get to experience this aspect of the machine they've been talking about until launch day, which is another exciting thing about getting a PlayStation 5 on launch day.
By the way, I love the launch day is 4 days before my birthday. I know what I'm doing on my birthday this year, FYI. Not a lot of anything other than PlayStation 5, that's for sure.
So before I answer what I'm excited about, please, you answer that same first question and follow it up with, well, what game are you going to be playing on your birthday?
Oh, that's a really good question. Man, I didn't know I was being put on the spot.
I know. I didn't either, so you're welcome. Thank you.
If I'm being realistic, if it's available on launch day, I will probably be neck deep in Destiny 2 Beyond Light. I will most likely be neck deep in that. Now, I will be playing Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'm excited about Miles Morales Spider-Man because I love the first Spider-Man game. And I'm really hoping that this is building towards a co-op Spider-Man experience in the next Spider-Man game, which would be amazing. But I'm really excited some people are very skeptical about what Destiny is doing right now. Obviously, we don't see that there's no Destiny 3 coming anytime soon. They're just going to build off the 2. I feel like it's the same way as GTA 5, right?
Yeah, they're going the WoW route as well.
Yeah. And I can see that. And some people are skeptical of the whole vaulting thing that's going on with vaulting worlds, but I like that they're creating focus, which is for me is really, really good, because I feel like it's too spread out right now in a way that's like, you want an open universe spread out, but Mercury's just kind of hanging out there and not doing anything. Like, it's just kind of, hey, it's not a productive place for me to go to. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'll go talk to the weird guy up in the brother
Vance.
What is his name? Brother Vance. I was just about to say Brother Vance, but it sounds like a professional wrestler. But it does, doesn't it?
I'll get you, Brother Vance.
I will probably be neck deep in Destiny 2 Beyond Light as it expands. I love the story mode expansions. And again, I'm a Spider-Man fan. I'm really excited about the option of having a digital-only console. I will be honest with you about that.
I'm so used to it now with the gaming PC. So, yeah.
So for me as a father, it provides me a way of keeping my games out of my son's hand, which is just, it's just great. You were going to charge me $100 less. It's got the same memory system on it, but I just don't get to have disc. I'm in. That's fine. I'm in. Like, I don't do the whole GameStop trade games in thing. I don't do that anymore anyway. Like, I am what I am with my games.
I've seen some commentary on that, and tell me what you think of this. I saw an interesting subreddit about this conversation saying that they're worried about digital only because Sony needs to get more aggressive with its digital sales. And I agree with that, because I do think that Sony's has a pretty poor execution of making it feel like you want to buy their digital games. But now that they're debuting a digital only, it should feel like, oh, if this game is $10 in store on disc and I can't play it because on digital it's $20, I'm not going to spend the extra $10. You should price match, at least if it's like a direct competitor.
I think they do a really good. So the one thing I like, if you actually go in the store, I think they do a really good job with developer sales, where they just allow developers to have sales. I think they do a really good job with that. I think Sony needs to do a better job of, one, if something's being sold digitally as opposed to being sold in stores, let's put this in perspective. The digital version should be cheaper than the physical version, because the physical version takes manufacturing, it takes shipping, it takes people to do those things. The digital version does not take those things. It takes somebody uploading it onto a server, and you pay for it, and you download it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yep.
So let's even if it's $5 less, it's $6, it's $7 less, whatever. Digital versions of games should be cheaper than physical versions of games. That should go without saying. I should not have to pre-order the same game for $60.
And Sony doesn't have a direct, aspect of competition to the Xbox Game Pass, which is a phenomenal deal when you look at it and break it down. So to bolster your point of, they should be cheaper. Come on, Sony, you gotta. If you're not going to offer something as good as that, bring your prices down, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just, so for me, it doesn't make sense. I'm hoping they do something better with their whole, obviously, so I kind of touched on this a little bit, but the breadth of game that's going to be available for PlayStation Plus members day one.
The collection.
Like, do we know the list? The collection? Yeah. That collection is like the most of my top 10 of PlayStation 4 games.
And, bro, is that a Velociraptor?
That was a Velociraptor.
Bro,
you guys watch out.
Are you watching Jurassic Park in the background?
Hold on. I'm gonna go steer that Velociraptor back down. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You can do it. It's okay, girl. It's okay, Blue. It's okay, Blue. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right, Blue.
Wow.
It's all right. Whew.
Wow. That was
yeah.
good.
We got a big backyard and stuff, and sometimes they just
I mean, you got to keep them in check.
Raptors be Raptoring.
Bro,
can't help it.
In case you didn't know, for all you future Raptor owners out there, Raptors be Raptoring. So with the PlayStation 5 having this game library to pick from, we know that Microsoft's going to have theirs. So for the ones jumping in, grabbing the $299 Microsoft console, you're going to have a lot to play from. The one thing that I'll say about the PlayStation 5 that I'm also really excited about is getting to experience these controllers that they've been talking about, because the controller is the first time they've changed the name from DualShock since DualShock first debuted. This is the first time we're getting a new controller technology to allow us to have this immersive experience. And they're, the tactile feedback, the whole so when I'm web swinging as Miles Morales, because that's probably what I'm going to be playing on day one, do I feel the resistance of the web on the building coming through the trigger? And just that little touch in each swing, it goes away and then it comes back and it goes away and it comes back, and you feel the punches and everything. They're describing it to be like that, or when you play Horizon Zero West, when that comes out, the bow, when you pull a bow back, you'll feel the tension of the bow in the trigger before you release. It'll actually.
You talking about Aloy?
Yeah,
talking about Aloy.
We're talking about the right trigger actually pushing back on you, because that would be the tension.
I love Aloy. Just FYI, I'm so excited about that game. You could have told me that there was nothing else coming out in 2021 except Horizon West, and I would have been okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in. Robot dinosaurs, I'm in.
So
it massages your hands too. I think if your thumbs start to cramp up after too much gaming, it has little hands that come out and give massages.
I think you put a quarter in and it's if you put 2 or 3 quarters in, and then
it just comes in and it's right.
But then once it fills up, you got to ship it over to Sony.
How's your carpal tunnel? How's your carpal tunnel today? It actually talks back to you. For the price of this controller, it should do some amazing things. I'm just saying. I'm in. Yeah, really, exactly. Reminds me of the shake weight from South Park. But anyway, segueing out of the shake weight from South Park, I am intrigued at everything that's being promised.
Yeah.
Because what we know is, and maybe it's just because I've gamed for so long, I am super skeptical about launch day. I just fully expect things to not work on launch day.
Yeah. That's the worry about getting a launch day console. What's going to be wrong with this?
Yeah, pretty much. But I also feel like at this stage in the game, we've kind of perfected the process. Yeah. I don't think we're going to see red rings of death again. I just don't see. I don't think we're going to see that. And
it's not a thought process in PC gaming, and this is pretty much a PC gaming console.
Right. And we joke about red rings of death, but I think Xbox did a pretty good job making up for that. They
100%.
didn't. They took care of people if that happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't hey, best of luck to you and your red rings of death. They didn't do that, which they could have. They honestly could have, because it's buyer beware at that stage. So I do want to discuss the pre-order sales.
Okay. Let's do it.
Hold on. So my PlayStation makes the announcement that they're going to go on pre-order sale for retailers.
How did they make that announcement?
What do you mean?
When did they make the pre-order announcement?
They made it on, say, the 11th.
They made it on the day of the showcase.
Correct. Yes, but it was going to be available for pre-order the next day.
Do you know how they went about revealing that information?
You're making me look silly.
They didn't put it in the showcase. No, they tweeted it.
Twitter is the machine, man.
How do you forget to put in your showcase the vital information that is when pre-orders begin?
Oh, by the way, this is when they begin. But here's the thing. When they announced when they began in the tweet was not the same day as the showcase. They weren't supposed to go on pre-order until the next day.
Because they said it would be tomorrow on the day of the showcase at select retailers.
Correct.
What did retailers say to that?
Retailer said, no, you know what? Walmart was like, we got an inventory. Why do you want to wait? So Walmart just opened pre-orders.
Yeah. Whatever. I do what I want, whatever.
And then Target, which is just bougie Walmart, was like, hey, Walmart did it. We'll do it too.
And then you got the monster Amazon. Whoa.
Amazon waited. What's funny was I think Amazon was 5th. I think it was Walmart, Target, Best Buy, GameStop, then Amazon.
Oh, GameStop.
Hey, listen. I got a bundle from GameStop.
Nice.
I'm happy about my bundle. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. I'm happy for you.
Because I kept trying to check out on Best Buy and kept hitting the button to check out, and it kept crashing on me.
To place order?
It just kept crashing.
To place order?
Oh my gosh.
I was sitting there. Look, I have to make this known to everybody listening here. Because had he not gotten that order on GameStop, you probably would have taken the one that you were going to get through PlayStation. So that actually helped me out because I was the one going through the whole sitting there, clicking the place order, trying to process the whole time. Just take the transaction. Just take the transaction. Take it. We refreshed. Oh, it's out of stock. Oh, it's back in stock. Okay. Checking out. Okay. Place order. Yep. Okay. What is this? I feel like the monkey, you know, the meme of the monkey, and he's like at the computer and he's just sitting there just tapping the
I was doing it too on my phone.
That was me.
I was like this, and finally,
if your phone had an emotion, it's like, stop, it's abuse, stop, you're hurting me. Yeah.
One of my friends was like, hey, GameStop has bundles. And I was like, oh, okay, let me try checking out a bundle. And I checked out the bundle. By the way, they overcharged me by $30 on the bundle. They refunded me that $30. Thanks, GameStop.
Hey, GameStop did something nice. That's cool.
You're a real hero. While you're alive, you're a hero. While you're alive. Because it won't be for much longer.
They're fading away. They're fading away with the thumbs up. It's like, hi.
They're
going
Marty
into the
McFly
field of dreams.
They're Marty McFly in that picture when he's suddenly like disappearing because his arm hurts from trying to play the music or whatever. I think he was having a stroke. I'm not 100% sure what was happening in that moment.
That's GameStop right now.
That's GameStop. Someone should be at GameStop right now.
So
it was such a mess. Like, because what did we all expect? Like, you know, you take a company like Apple. So what happens when Apple releases something new, right? They tell you when it's going to be available. It's usually like some stupid time, like 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you're like, oh, okay, I got to set an alarm to wake up at 5 a.m. to pre-order my Apple Watch Series 6. Like, it's like that, right? But it's like, okay, at least I can count on that idiocy. This was just anarchy. This was a bunch of retailers just going, hey, oh, you released it? Oh, we'll release it too. Oh, cool. You released it? We'll release it too. Amazon just sitting in the corner like, yes, we have many. Yes.
The best way to understand what the internet traffic probably looked like is just go watch any footage of a compilation of Black Friday in the United States of America. And that is what the internet traffic was like for people trying to purchase the PlayStation 5 console when realizing that pre-orders were live and available.
Did you ever, it was like 8 years ago, did you ever see that SNL skit that was like a Black Friday commercial? Did you ever watch that? Did I ever send it to you? No. It was really funny. It was like we got box cutters at the front door, and like we put 8 layers of wax on the floor. Michael Douglas is hiding somewhere in the store signing books.
That's so funny.
It's so good. It's absolutely good. But it was pure anarchy.
They did apologize, which is nice. I'm glad they came out and apologized. Sony.
Did all the retailers?
No. Sony came out and was like, let's be honest. That did not go as planned. We will make sure that there will be more pre-orders available, and we'll make sure to have enough consoles, which we talked about this on DGN, where it does look like supposedly Sony is taking a little bit more of a loss to get more consoles on shelves for launch day so that there's enough there.
Well, there's a good segue into that. So obviously one of the announcements for 2021, which was really exciting, was the deep, grovelly voice for God of War Ragnarok. Yes, boy. Yes. I bought Jason, my son, a boy onesie when he was younger.
Yeah, I remember that. It was awesome.
I'm going to get him another one. Seriously.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't see that coming. I did make that prediction like prior. I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if we heard about some God of War, the next God of War game at this showcase? And it was at the very end. I was like, oh, wow. I didn't expect that.
Which is amazing, and I'm super excited about. And release date 2021. So what you're telling me is Santa Monica Studios made God of War, which is a masterpiece. Let's put it in perspective. And as close to an open world third person game as you can get with it just being narrative driven, right? Because there was so much to do in that game. Like it wasn't just go fight Baldwin and, figure out that your son is a mythical Norse god. I'm not going to throw any spoilers out there if you haven't played it. If you haven't played it, what is wrong with you? Go do that right now.
Or play it on launch day.
But my point is that Santa Monica Studios released God of War in 2018?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
I think that's right.
Batman Arkham Knight was released in 2016. And we're not going to get a game from Rocksteady until 2022. Like, can someone explain to me what can you explain to me what they're doing over there? Like,
no answer. I have no idea.
Like for me, the breadth of what God of War was so like and don't get me wrong, I love Arkham Knight. I loved, most people hated the tank. I didn't love the tank, but I loved the story. And if you knew Batman mythos, you knew exactly who Arkham Knight was, but it was still really cool.
Right.
But we're not going to get a game until 2022 from them.
2022.
I don't understand this. Like, are they just sitting around like the dude, like with White Russians and smoking doobies and like, we should program something today?
Maybe they're sitting around like Rockstar and just chilling on games that have already done well, and they're like, we don't need to stress ourselves with making a whole new game, because it's game developing is definitely stressful.
Well, we've literally watched people like Ken Levine like walk away from the industry because of the stress that it put on them.
Yeah.
By the way, we're getting a new BioShock game in a few years, and I will be lined up for that.
That's going to be awesome.
But
there's another game I want to talk about, by the way, from the showcase.
Are we going to talk about Demon Souls?
No. We're actually talking about another game that, honestly, until I saw the trailer and I learned more about the information of it, I was like, this sounds like so much fun. Was the Harry Potter video game that was announced.
Yeah, the Hogwarts one. Yeah, the RPG one. Yeah.
And it's like The Witcher, but Harry Potter. It's
Harry Potter, right?
And it's more like,
and J.K. Rowling's helping write it too.
No, she has no involvement in the story.
I thought she did have an involvement in the story.
No, WB Games came out and said that she has no involvement in this game. She just has her name on the intellectual property. So
interesting. Okay.
What I found really cool about that is they're saying it has a more mature storyline to it.
Okay.
And all the elements of that universe you fit just perfectly in a video game. And there's like taming creatures, there's like learning different spells, there's like becoming a different type of, what class that you go to. I just thought everything that they talked about and how they were breaking down, I was like, wow, that sounds like a game that you could just get lost in, because there's just so much to do. And with the PlayStation 5's hardware, it would just allow you this whole Hogwarts universe to go in and like explore and just have that RPG experience that we haven't seen in that series. We've only had like the Lego games, and some like Quidditch games, but nothing like this. It's exciting.
You haven't played Madden Pro Quidditch 2020?
I haven't played Madden Pro Quidditch 2020. No, I haven't.
It's amazing, bro. Lamar Jackson's incredible.
Oh wow.
But anyway,
I need to go see some of these highlights.
Oh no, I'm looking at the ceiling.
Hey, welcome back.
There we go. Hey, is my head okay?
If you step back a little bit or tilt the camera up a little bit, there you go. Cool. Now you're good. Now it doesn't look like you have a head that just keeps going.
That would be amazing. No, I am excited about it. I am skeptical about it at the same time. And the reason being is because anything licensed these days, I just get very skeptical about. Like, I'm just, after the Avengers shenanigans, are we R-rated? Can I say shenanigans? Oh, I just said it already.
Yeah.
Shenanigans after that.
Yeah.
any licensed property, I just feel like, and it's not on the developer. Like, I do actually believe that Crystal Dynamics is a decent developer.
Yeah.
And I do believe that with WB Games, for the most part, is a decent developer. But how much is the studio, or how much is Marvel sticking their fingers in?
Because you need to make money.
So exactly. So some of the licensed stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
I just become really, really skeptical of.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, what's really upset, is it going to be on PS5, or it is?
November 19th. They announced that not only is the game releasing on, I think, your birthday, the 16th, it's going to be available to play on the 19th across all PC and next-gen consoles. And I was like, I cannot wait to play the game. I'm going to be streaming that game pretty much. That's the only thing I'll be streaming. I'll be playing that like most of the time. I cannot wait to play that game. I'm so excited.
I'm excited about it as well. I am going to tell you this now.
What do you know what path you want to start out as? There's 3 paths. You have the Outlander, the Street Kid, and the corporate path.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Street Kid, but I haven't really decided yet.
I want to play the corporate path first because I want to learn about what's going on behind the corporation stuff. So when I go play the Street Kid and go play the Outlander character, I'll know already, oh, okay, the inner workings of the corporation.
I just want to interact with Keanu Reeves as much as possible.
Yes. Yes.
That's my real life goal. That's my virtual gaming goal. Like how can I interact with Keanu Reeves as much as possible? Yeah, he's gonna be in an aquarium that's right down the street. Cool, I'm gonna be there.
I'm there.
Like, because he's Keanu Reeves.
How do I talk to Johnny Silverhand? That's who I need to talk to. I don't need any other character in this game.
How do we do it?
Yeah.
How do we do it?
That's great.
I'm here's the thing about launch day. Being that I've been through now, oh my gosh, so many consoles on launch day.
Yeah.
I do want to, but it was different when I was a kid and it was something like Super Nintendo, where we didn't really, there was nothing else. It was a Nintendo and that was it. Like Super Nintendo and then kind of Sega, and then and then the console wars kind of started. It was almost like the old Monday Night Wars with wrestling. But now it's just continued to grow as opposed to like, with the Monday Night Wars, they ended and WWE took over and took everything. I'm always skeptical of the first generation of games that come out with a console, because they're still going to be making them so that they're compatible with the last console generation. For the most part, that's going to be the case. Like if you look at the release games that are coming out, they're going to be available on both, like, Assassin's Creed Valhalla looks amazing. Going to be available on PS4 and PS5. Well, if you remember when they did that with Black Flag, the difference was negligible. Like it looked like it was a game made for PS4 that they also or PS3 that also dubbed onto PS4. Do you understand where I'm going with this? So I really feel like I'm going to get the life of PS5 and really the feel from it probably 2 years in, when we really start to see games that are being made exclusively for PlayStation 5. Because it took PlayStation 3... It took games, it was about 18 months before we saw games that were only made specifically for PS4.
That's going to happen faster. And there's going to be aspects of gameplay that they've talked about with the PlayStation 5 that you can't get on the 4. And that'll be the tech with the controller, the tech with the audio, the solid state drive loading times, the RTX, the ray tracing. Like there will be... I feel it was the same when I jumped over and started, doing like PC gaming and was like, hey, what does ray tracing look like? Right. Got an RTX card. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Wow. You'll notice it, right? You'll start to play your PlayStation 5 and you'll be like, I've never seen that in a game before. And there'll be tiny details that you'll like, for me, I'm just saying from my own experience, that you begin to grow accustomed to. And when you play games that don't have it, you notice it. Which is cool in and of itself. It's a sign of technology exponentially growing, right?
It's like watching a TV that's 1080 and a TV that's 4K, and like you watch 4K enough that when you watch a 1080, it's like, I don't see the zits on his face. What is wrong with this screen right now? What is wrong with this screen?
It's a very, very good parallel and description of quality, how it impacts you visually. Yeah. But it's
I want to see they're a regular human being. Let me see the craters on their face from when they were 14 years old. Make it happen for me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Exactly. But I think Sony's. I'm curious to see what Microsoft goes through on their launch day. That they did meme Sony with their response, which was good on them. Their marketing person did a really good job with how they reacted to the pre-order debacle. But I think there's going to be more PlayStation 5 users initially. And that's exciting too, because that's going to mean they're going to have to focus on making sure multiplayer is good, and lands.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily been Sony's strong suit in the gaming, realm, but they've gotten better.
No, and I agree with you. And the one thing I really want to see is whether you're Microsoft or whether you're Xbox, that's the same thing. Whether you're Microsoft or whether you're Sony.
Yeah.
We need to see what we're seeing in Call of Duty, which is more cross-platform availability.
Yep.
I mean, we need to see that. I think we're getting it's kind of getting old that I'm playing the same game as somebody else that's most likely going to the same server, and yet I can't play with them.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's becoming a big focus for the next couple of years.
Well, they're already talking. So, Bungie's already talking about with Destiny Beyond Light that it'll be not cross-platform, but
save.
Yeah, so basically PS4 and PS5 can play together. But I'm like,
no.
That's not what that's not what I necessarily want.
No.
I have some friends who play Xbox Destiny who I would love to play Destiny with them.
Yep. And you should be able
to.
Game.
Exactly.
You can be.
We've seen it with Call of Duty,
and they're handling 150 people in a server on a massive map, which does have its issues when you really look at it. But overall, it's impressive that we do that. We play with Xbox One players, we play with PS4 players, you play with PC players, and all under the same roof.
Are you excited about Cold War?
I don't know how to feel. I don't. The gameplay didn't wow me. It didn't really make me think, oh my God, this looks like an upgrade.
Look, animatronic Ronald Reagan. Look, it's Ronald Reagan. And it's like,
when we get to,
is he a playable character?
Right. When we get to experience it on PC, I think I'll have, more of that feeling. Am I excited? But I think there's just so much as we get into the end of this year and next year and the games that are coming out and what it's going to be like to play the PlayStation 5 in March of next year when whatchamacallit drops, like Horizon Forbidden West is supposed to drop in quarter 2 of 2021, right?
Yep.
So it's just
shave that week.
I think it's just going to be we're going to be wowed. We're going to be like kids again with video games. I think the everything under the hood of this next gen console is it's PC gaming. It is, and console players have not gotten to experience that who haven't been able to make that upgrade because it's expensive. The only reason I could do it was because of the job I had and focusing on streaming now too. So I can't wait for more people to get to have this experience because it's just like a kid in a candy store. You're just so excited.
So I'm going to put you on the spot here, and then you can put me right back on the spot if you want to.
Okay.
So we're obviously the sun is setting on this console edition of PS4.
Okay.
Do you have a top 3 experiences in your mind with the PS4? Whether that's a cutscene, whether that was a game itself, whether it was a multiplayer experience, do you have a top 3 in your head?
Yeah, I would say the top 3 for me for PlayStation 4 would be The Witcher 3, probably being one of the best games you could play all around. The story of Red Dead Redemption 2, probably one of the best story experiences you could have all the way around. And then a love for me that I would only have had it was free on PlayStation, even though I don't play the game anymore, but I put 5 years of my life into it, Rocket League. Rocket League, what it was on free to play. You
were kind of good at that.
Yeah, a little. I was like for those Rocket Leaguers that listen, I was a 1658 on my MMR, and yeah, I played it for like 4 or 5 years, and a lot of it's changed. The culture's changed, the gameplay's changed, and
Sure.
the control has changed. So I put it to bed.
Cultures and gameplays tend to change as more users start to play it and then try and find the advantage. Man,
we do like to try to find the advantage.
Just what it's all about, right? And when it starts to get competitive, it's about how do I find a way to win. That's the problem with competition and as a whole, especially mass competition. People will find ways to cheat.
Let's bring on Lance Armstrong. Let's go talk to McGuire Bonds.
Have you watched that? You got to watch the documentary on ESPN he did. It was actually really eye-opening. It was a very good documentary. He still comes off being a just destroyer of worlds, but you get really a backstory of why he destroyed worlds. Like how much was riding on whether or not he doped or not, and then how much doping was actually going on in the sport at the time. So it's just a really good documentary overall.
But what you're saying is true, because when you're someone like that and you're pursuing that, and somebody comes along and goes, I can help you achieve that.
Not only help you achieve it, but then after you start achieving it, then everybody's whose life is riding on the line of your achievements. A
lot more to lose.
Admitting to what I'm doing will destroy hundreds of thousands of lives. So that's the reason why you don't cheat in the first place and don't set your foundation on something terrible like that. So that's the first. Man, it's a really good question. I think my time with the PlayStation 4 has been marked by both just essential joy, some moments that I remember, and sadness at times. Uncharted 4 felt like playing a movie, which was just to me, it was the first time. I played the Uncharted collection beforehand. I didn't have a PlayStation 3, so I played the Uncharted collection beforehand before I played it, and it just, for me, I got really wrapped up in the Nathan Drake storyline, and watching it finish the way that it did was the right way to finish that storyline.
Yeah.
The whole sunsetting of him and his wife and their daughter at the end, it just felt like the right way to end. Like they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
The first time I played PlayStation VR as Batman and had the Batarang and got to do all that stuff, it really felt like I remember I was standing in my best friend's living room doing PSVR, and I'm looking down at my arms and I've got the gauntlets on. I look over it. I knew Aubrey was standing over to my wife, was standing over to my left, and I was like, I was made to wear these. It was one of those moments.
That's great.
And it's indelible in my brain.
Yeah.
And then playing actually, I think one of my favorite experiences with PSVR, and oh my gosh, I can't remember the game all of a sudden. It was these black and white characters where everything was in slow motion.
Super hot.
That is one of my favorite game experiences I've ever had before in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's like I would get so wrapped up in it that I would put my hands on equipment that was or furniture that wasn't actually there, which was, oh my gosh, I loved it. I loved it so much. It was a great experience.
I was hoping to see PSVR 2 news, by the way. The patents have been coming out, and the things we've been hearing are.
Can we make it without 76 wires? Because that would be great.
Oh, dude, there's a supposed patent for a wireless PSVR 2 headset.
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
I've actually cried in some of this generation of gaming, and I hadn't before. I played Arthur Morgan good. I played him super good. So when he died, I actually cried a little bit.
The game's been out long enough if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 and you're upset.
He sits there and watches the sunset and passes away. I mean, I played him super good intentionally because I knew that they were going to do something about the whole.
Rockstar has this ability to reward you for the good playthrough with a very positive ending. I felt the same way with the good and the overall good ending of GTA 5, when you have everyone alive at the end.
Never played GTA 5 the story mode.
What?
I never did. I'm sure it'll be available on PS5 at this point.
They have that coming out. Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah,
I know we're at the tail end of this recording. I didn't know you never played the story of GTA 5.
Yes, I never played the story of GTA 5. I haven't played a GTA story since, like, all the way through since GTA 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to bring us to the end of the. Wow.
No, I was extremely excited about all the representations of Batman because I'm a huge Batman fan. And if you haven't, be mad about the tanks, but Arkham Knight was still the best Batman action that we've ever had before. An amazing story with the double play of Inner Demons with the Joker and all that stuff. Like, there was just so much good in that. And it was marked by disappointment at times, at the end.
Yeah.
I was excited about Last of Us 2. Didn't come through the way I wanted it to. I was excited about Avengers. It didn't come through. But
hopefully
I think
they can make up for that.
I think what we're seeing with this end, I kind of feel like it's almost petering off to a point. Like, it's like, we know PS5's coming out.
Yeah.
And if I'm a developer, I'm putting the effort in on that. But I love this generation of gaming. I loved the PS4. I really felt like the difference between, like, PS3 and Xbox 360 and PS4 and Xbox One was a huge jump. It was a huge jump.
Oh yeah.
What you experienced at this level. I did play. So this was a small one. I know it was last gen, but I didn't play Last of Us, the actual story, until this generation of gaming, because I didn't have a PS3, so I didn't play it. So I got to experience that story, and that's probably some of the best storytelling that's ever happened.
If you haven't played The Last of Us, you should play it. If you haven't gotten that chance,
you should totally play it. Should not play the second one.
Play the second one and have your own informed opinion. I'm not necessarily saying that Jesse's
just
wrong.
Don't waste their time.
We should play it so if you feel the same way. Yeah. But I agree. I think the PlayStation 4 is it's a console. When you look at the life and death of a console, it did very well, and it righted a lot of the wrongs of the PlayStation 3, and Sony won over a plethora of consumers because of the PlayStation 4. Won me.
They won me.
Yep.
They won me. So here's my last question for you.
Yeah.
What title that hasn't been announced yet would you be most excited for?
What title hasn't been announced yet that I would be most excited for? I think I just mentioned it. I wouldn't necessarily. I would say a title would be any PlayStation VR 2 game. Just even if it's a tech demo, even if it's Astrobot 2 for the PSVR 2, whatever it is, I want to see what they do with virtual reality, because I think what they did with the PSVR was so impressive for a console to be able to do that. And they know the limitations they had with Move controllers and the camera and the headset, and they've announced that they will be addressing that with this next headset. I want to see what they do. They're the only console doing it. So, it's like, what console exclusive virtual reality experiences do we get that you just can't get on a PC? It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think for me, it's BioShock.
Oh yeah.
So if we're gonna get a BioShock in this gen, which they haven't announced, we know Take-Two Interactive is actually working on.
Yeah.
And a BioShock, but they haven't announced it. If we can get a BioShock this gen,
another great series. Play 1, play Infinite, and then play 2. That's how.
Is that your order?
That's my order.
Is that your
1,
order?
then Infinite, then 2. I'm a fan of 2, but it's not, in terms of like all of them. It's the lowest for me.
I think it's yes. I don't disagree with you, but I think for me, the father-daughter dichotomy of 2 really gets me when you play it.
For sure.
But overall, there is nothing like Rapture. There's nothing. I mean, there has not been a gaming world for me that has been created that matches the majesty that is that gaming world. We haven't seen anything yet. And the swerve in the first game is still, to me, one of the greatest swerves in the history of gaming.
I am curious what is the next setting going to be for the next BioShock series. I don't think it's going to be a return.
Stay in damn Rapture.
I don't think it's going to be a return to Rapture, and I don't necessarily believe it's going to be a sky-based thing. Maybe they go to space. Maybe they do something that we just didn't think will happen, and they do it well. So
see, I think Return to Columbia. Okay, so not the tangent, but I actually really liked Columbia. I thought Columbia was very cool.
I think they're just going to do something different when they do it with this next gen hardware.
Well, I mean, it's Take-Two. You got to. You
have to do it. This next gen hardware is ready to process things that we just haven't seen in games.
So we've done air, we've done sea. So what would be the other element we haven't done? I'm trying to think of that ride from Epcot where you got to choose
something on land or something in space. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Seriously.
Or an alternate dimension kind of feel.
You could do like a prehistoric land, which would be cool, but that you build up in. Just suddenly came to me. But we here at Nerd Jocks are going to continue to putting content out in regards to PlayStation 5's release. We will also, we're not ostracizing you, Microsoft lovers. No. We're going to put some stuff out about Xbox as well. It's coming.
Yeah. Okay. And
your giant box is coming.
Be excited for xCloud and what that means for the gaming industry and how that is going to do wonders for gamers, that when you get crossplay capability and you can play a multiplayer game on your tablet, on your Android device, and you can play with a friend while they play on their console, and you guys can couch co-op technically in the same room because the xCloud works that way. Like, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So yes, we should of course recognize that Microsoft is doing some amazing things alongside the beast that is the PlayStation 5.
I'm just excited. I'm excited for the state of gaming. I'm excited that it is. I think the biggest thing for me, and this is what my final thought. My final thought today. I feel like Montel Williams or Maury Povich or whoever. Nighttime, daytime people. My final thought on this is that gaming is doing what it should do, which is becoming more mainstream. We're here talking about it because it's no longer something reserved just for nerds.
The numbers don't lie.
And the numbers don't lie. I think the last stat I heard about the population of the planet that actually plays a game in some sort virtually or from a digital perspective is astonishing. My point.
It's like a third of the human population.
Yeah. So my point is that I really like that we are starting to progress to a point where we can start using this in ways that I hope people start recognizing that we can use this for education.
Yep.
We can use this for childhood development.
Yeah.
We can use this for treatment. There's a lot of things we can use this for. Okay. And you remember the Socrates system we had when I was a kid?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I learned a lot from that, and it was a video game.
Yeah.
Mom was smart. Mom was smart. She was like, "Hey, you like video games? This is the game you're going to play, and it's going to teach you things at the same time."
Yep.
But I think we have an opportunity here with the acceleration of gaming from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah.
To use it for other things.
Yep.
Which is very exciting.
I couldn't agree more. I can't wait to see those types of experiences that when you put the controller down or you put the headset down, you walk away and you reflect. You walk away and you think about trying to be a better version of yourself, because what you experienced in that story or in that gameplay impacted you on that level. That is before us. And I think that's something to for some of these games coming out, especially for some of these storytellers. They know that, and they're putting that into their systems because they want you to have those reactions, and that is something that is very exciting, that these developers, the ones who are attempting to do that, see what you have just addressed and what I've just talked about, and they go, yeah, we want to tell stories that have that type of effect on the consumer.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be an interesting day when people are doing movie premieres for game premieres, which I think is not a day that's too far away from us.
Yep, that'll be exciting. But until then, PlayStation 5 launches November 15th. 13th.
12th.
Thank you. That 5 upside down is a 2. That's what I saw in my head and why I called it a 5. So November 12th.
He's dyslexic.
So that is what we will be doing on November 12th, and be looking forward to more news that it comes out and talk about it on the next PlayStation 5 console episode of the, Nerd Jock.
They may catch us streaming some on our official Twitch channel too.
That'll be happening as well, especially with the PS5s, and both Nerd Jockians will be in possession of one. So
we'll be taking care of that. And our next episode of Nerd Jocks we already have planned out. We're actually going to be talking a little bit about the game of not foosball. That's the woman from the football.
Yeah, football.
Thank you. Sorry, water boy.
Right.
You play the foosball behind my back, boy.
American football.
We'll be talking a little about the sport, little preview for you guys out there who love football. We'll talk a little bit about this generation of Madden, and we'll also get into the rampant injuries that are going on in pro football and college football, for that matter, and why it's so different this year and why that's happening. We're bringing in an expert, a world-class physical therapist, to talk with us a little bit about why that's happening.
It's going to be great. So make sure to tune in for that. Learn more about that American football. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate that. And we will catch all of you amazing human beings next time right here on the Nerd Jocks podcast. For the Nerd Jocks podcast, I am Chris Marone.
I am Chris Marone. No, wait, I'm Jesse Grunt. Sorry. Yeah,
he just says whatever on the prompter.
Sometimes. I get confused sometimes. Sorry. I gotta go herd some raptors. So
herd those raptors. We'll catch you all next time. See you, everybody.